Steve and I are very fortunate in that I am able to visit him every other month or so. And people might think that that's just as easy as packing, hopping on a plane, and showing up here. Unfortunately, when you have two disabled bodies, it's not that simple. Here's a glimpse into what we go through in order to be together.
Every time we get together, it is always a critical touch point for both of us. We get to see each other about every 6 or 7 weeks, and we know that won't be forever, but for now, those 5 to 6 days most times are what we get, and it takes a lot of effort. It's not a matter of just jumping into a car. We each have our own parts to play to make things work in a very intricate setup.
Yeah, I mean, it actually takes weeks and weeks of preparation just to get all the logistics together to get us in one place. It's a process.
It is a process. I've got a care team 24/7 taking care of me. And every time you come into town, even though you've been doing it for months now, it's a disruption to their everyday schedule. They have routines. They really like when the same things are done the same time every single day. And when you're with me, we don't do anything that they want me to do on schedule. We do our own lives, and we are very much guardians of that safe space. And I will tell you, as we are kind of an educational entertainment channel. That's one thing I can impart in wisdom is if you have to go through this, remind the people that are taking care of you, you have to be front and center. It has to be about this time. We only do get 1 to 1.5 weeks per month and a half to spend together. You have to rearrange your life so that you can maximize that time. And so while she jumps through a whole bunch of hoops, on this side of things, I get to sort of rearrange my house and my entire schedule just to be with her as much as I can during that time.
Yeah. So for me, on my end, it's a lot of making sure that all of my medications are refilled, making sure that any doctor's appointments or procedures are scheduled beforehand, especially if I've got something that's bothering me or that I'm not feeling well, making sure that everything's taken care of before I come out. Travel days are rough. Travel days are really rough.
And you're a disabled woman traveling on your own to come see me. That's going to be scary.
They're a lot. And I I've started scheduling, as best I can, morning flights because the airports are easier to contend with. And it's less time spent standing in lines when there are fewer people. So I try to schedule early morning flights, but that means that I get a lot less sleep. I'm getting up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and then getting ready, finishing packing, then taking, a car, a taxi or a Lyft or something like that to the airport and then getting to the airport 2 hours early, where then it's a lot of waiting in line and walking and, it's
running through giant airports with luggage.
Yeah. Usually I'm exhausted. Usually I'm in pain. I am by myself. And then obviously flying, which is probably the easiest part generally. I don't want to say that and then have a terrible flight home. But generally that's the easy part because, there's nothing I can do. It's kind of out of my hands at that point. But I don't feel like I can nap or anything or rest at any point because I need to make sure I'm getting to, where I need to be at a specific time. And then when I land, again, it's getting my luggage, getting my stuff, and then getting to Steve. So it is a process. So travel days are really exhausting. By the time I get here to Steve's house, we're always really excited to see each other. We want to spend time together. We want to do stuff. We want to order food and do that. But generally, I just end up collapsing for a few hours.
It is kind of interesting in that people don't think about the logistics of it. They don't think about what do you have to do when you take a dozen medications to make sure you keep taking them away from home, because everything is at home for you set up so that you know what you're taking when, how many you need to take, and what times. They don't think about what it's like when I spend a lot of my time in a hospital bed. We can't just sit in the same hospital bed and just hang out here. We had to figure out buying first we bought a glamping cot from Walmart and push it up against my bed just to be able to hang out with each other like we're sitting on a couch, and then we
were trying to get to the right height because I was like lower than him by a few inches. Yep. So it's very hard to like cuddle with somebody when you're a few inches lower than they are.
Yeah. And it's one of the things I don't think I realized going into this. And maybe that's, one of the great things I think, at least I hope for, all of you out there watching our videos, learn from what we had to go through is, these are some of the things that we did. And we probably, at some point, we'll take a video like this where we're just talking to each other and make kind of a listicle video that you can use to like do a checklist for your own travel. But some of our pain points, are figuring out devices that would help these be easier.
Yeah, the sleeping on the same level is pretty critical, especially so like for me, I have a very bad back. And so if we're not level, I end up in terrible pain after a very short amount of time attempting to cuddle, which sucks. And it limits what we can, do and how close we can be. And it took a couple visits before we figured out the height thing and that we needed to get an actual mattress in, not just for height, but also because my back was really bad. My back was seizing up, but it was really good.
In the end, the answer actually ended up being to buy a cot that you would use for a camp, but put a regular mattress on it. The cot is collapsible and you can put it into the closet, but the mattress is full and it keeps her back from hurting. And she hasn't had any back pain away from just regular things we do around the house to hurting her back. Sleeping is fine. So that was very helpful.
It's been a pretty good setup altogether. I feel like we've figured out the mattress issue.
Absolutely.
But it is a lot. And like furniture has to be moved to make room for that.
Yeah, we rearranged the house.
He's rearranged his room. It's quite a process. I'm someone who struggles with dehydration and nutritional issues. And so Steve is really cognizant of that and is always like just a massive overabundance of Gatorade.
She asked me to buy her a couple of Gatorades. I bought her 4 pounds.
He bought the entire collection. Yes, I don't know. There's all the Gatorade. He has all the Gatorade in this house. Yes. There's so much Gatorade and ginger ale because I'm someone I struggle with nausea, so I drink a lot of ginger ale.
Canada
and so
Dry, look us up.
So much ginger ale. So I love ginger ale. I do love ginger ale. I do.
Sponsored by
I would drink it even if I didn't have nausea issues. But what an advertisement. I would drink it even if I didn't have nausea issues.
Even if I wasn't nauseous, I'd drink me some Canada Dry.
Ginger ale.
Ginger ale. It'll make you slightly less nauseous. That was a lot of it for me. I know for you, especially when a lot of long distance couples have to deal with the arrangements of work, and it's a fairly common struggle of getting the time off. How do you navigate the kids and the friends and the responsibilities? It's a lot just for an average able-bodied couple, but when you're disabled, you really have to think outside of the box. You have to be able to come into play of what it is that your life is different. We even had to come up with different ways of watching television. We literally have a TV that is on the ceiling of my room to be able to come down so that we can watch television together because we can't get up and go to a couch to watch TV.
It's a pretty good setup. It's a pretty good setup. I have to factor in like recovery days, like with travel generally. I didn't for this trip, which is probably going to bite me in the ass, but I have to factor in a recovery day, at least one recovery day at the tail end of my trip because usually I'm so exhausted from travel physically and I'm hurting, so I need that time to just rest and rest my body.
I think that's worth also mentioning is if you're planning your trip to see your love of your life, that you need to factor in those travel days or you need to choose to stay with your person. And it's a hard choice. At the end of the day, we both only get so much time off that we can take from our responsibilities to pay for the ability to not only live, but get the medical care we need. And we can't just take unlimited days. So while we are still long distance, it's a struggle with, do you take the time you need and get those recovery days so you can be at 100%? Or do you just be like, all right, well, I'm going to go back at 60% and I'm going to be tired and I'm going to be in pain, but at least I get one more day with this other person. And it's a hard choice. We talk about it a lot on this channel. There are times where you have to choose between a little more pain and a little bit more pleasure, or you have to relent and say, I need this time to recover. And we don't have a right answer for you because it's got to be on you.
Sometimes airfare is $300 cheaper if I book without a recovery day. So I booked without a recovery day on this trip. But generally, I'm pretty staunchly like, no, I need to have a recovery day because I will not be able to go back to work at 100% without it.
When it comes to travel, it's not easy, whether you're a long distance couple who doesn't deal with the challenges we do, or whether you're a long distance couple that also has to go through your own set of difficulties. It can be a lot just to spend time together. So we hope that you don't have quite as much struggles as we do, but if you do, you can always let us know in the comments below what it is you have to go through. What are the things that keep you from having an everyday, quote, normal experience? And what is it that you have to go through as far as travel? Do you have tips and tricks that you wish the world would know? Let us know in the comments below, and maybe we can share them with the world.
Yeah, are you in a long distance relationship? What kinds of things do you do to make your trips successful? We'd love to hear from you. Leave us a comment and maybe we'll address it in a future video.